So Sabu, sadly, no longer with us, right? Of course, Mother's Day, May the 11th, 2025. The morning of, I got the notification on my phone that Sabu has passed away. And man, I am heartbroken, man. I love Sabu, man. Iconic career. And we're just kind of gonna go through all this history here because there's so much. Sabu's been everywhere. Anyway, fans know him as, birth name Terrace Michael Bronk, right? Born December 12th of 1964, Staten Island, New York. The ring name's the Great Sabu. Sabu the Elephant Boy. Samu. Terry S.R., Terry Sanuka, Terry Brunk, and Sabu the Jungle. Of course, 6 foot, 0 inches, 235 pounds, from Bombay, Michigan, or Mumbai, India, Saudi Arabia. Debut back in 1985. And look, man, Sabu got trained by his uncle, the legendary, the original Sheik, Ed Farhat. Now, of course, Dark Side of the Ring is going to drop an episode this coming Tuesday by the time I release this video out to YouTube and on the podcast, that they're going to have a special documentary on Dark Side of the Ring of the original Sheik, Ed Farhat. Of course, Sabu, I believe, he's featured on this episode. So it's going to be emotional to watch, right? It's going to be emotional. But again, he was trained by Ed Farhat, the Sheik, by his uncle, right? Debuted in 1985 in his his uncle's promotion, Big Time Wrestling, up in Detroit, right? Cobo Hall, legendary venue, right? Eventually, he went to various independent promotions in Memphis, Michigan, Ohio, Canada, Hawaii. He made a stint in the USWA, United States Wrestling Association, back in 1991. Feuded with Jeff Jarrett, Ron Fuller. Made his debut in the WWF, WWE, back in 93. Defeated Scott Taylor, of course. Owen Hart lost in the dark match, of course. WWE Superstars taping. And that's where he made his debut in FMW, right? Frontier Martial Arts Wrestling from 91 to 94, right? That's where he met Onita, right? Atsushi Onita and Tarzan Goto. Of course, the famous Japanese match, a death match, of course, of Onita. Goto tag team up against the original Sheik and Sabu. That's where they lit the ring on fire. Now you guys remember that. And I believe it was on the Onita episode of Dark Side of the Ring, where they went to Japan, and they lit the ropes on fire, and, these guys talked about how they couldn't breathe in the ring, right? It's insane. You're watching WWE, AEW, TNA Wrestling. Just imagine all 3 ropes, all 4 sides, on fire, wrestling in the match. That shit's crazy, man. That was back in 92. Shit was wild back in the 90s. Of course, he faced the debut of Hayabusa, 94, Summer Spectacle, and obviously he made his debut, Eastern Championship Wrestling, right? It was before ECW, but it was Eastern Championship Wrestling, 93 to 95. The famous line of Sabu, which he was hyped as homicidal, genocidal, and death-defining, right? Where the turban, right? The turban he wears around his head, similar to his uncle, trying to carry on the Sheik's legacy, which we talked about the Sheik, his uncle. That's where we saw the classic, Sabu, right? Classic Sabu. And let's move on here really quick here. So he made his, Eastern Championship Wrestling, which turned into ECW, Extreme Championship Wrestling, which all the violence came to play, tables, whatnot, hardcore TV, as they say. And I'm kind of going through my notes here. So we got that piece of era of Sabu, of course, teaming with the Tasmaniacs, of course, from 94 to 95. Feuding with the Triple Threats, Shane Douglas, Chris Benoit, Dean Malenko. And eventually, let's see, he went through ECW, and then he went to New Japan, where he chose over ECW. Back in 95, he went to New Japan, teaming with Masahiro Chono against Harita and Tasashi Fujima out there. So he made his a couple stints, right? Couple stints out here in New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course. And, he went to WCW back in 95, right? Went to WCW in 95, of course. Made a debut on WCW Nitro September 11th in 95, of course. Of course, he went to Big Japan and All Japan Wrestling back in 97, 96. So he did some stuff over there as well. Returned to ECW back in 95 through 2000s, various feuds. Too Cold Scorpio, Rob Van Dam, you name it, man. All the ECW Hardcore Heavens, November to Disremember. I mean, it's all these, famous match with Terry Funk. And, I thought about that, right? The Mount Rushmores of hardcore wrestling, right? The Mount Rushmores of hardcore wrestling. Cactus Jack Mick Foley, right? You're talking about Terry Funk, right? Who else? Cactus Jack. Obviously, you got to throw Sabu up there, right? You got to throw Sabu up there in the Mount Rushmores of hardcore wrestling. When it comes to death matches, Onita. Anita's another one. So, Sabu most likely definitely is on the Mount Rushmore when it comes to death match and hardcore wrestling, right? Anyway, so he went to ECW after WCW. And of course, all the way up to ECW going out of business. He went to the Independent Circus from 2000 to 2002. He went to FMW while they was still out there in the 2002. He went to World Wrestling All-Star from 2002 to 2003. He made his appearance in TNA Wrestling, man, 2002 to through 2006, of course. Went through a departure, of course, then went back to the WWE era of the ECW. Now, remember, ECW came back through the WWE. So there was a WWE era of ECW, and of course, Sabu came back through that period of time as well. After that little stint there, he went back to the Indies in 2007 and 2010. And then between there, he did Juggalo Championship Wrestling, returned to TNA back in 2010, Independent Circuit in 2012 to 2021. Made a second return to Impact Wrestling in 2019. And of course, his final appearances was AEW at 2023. And of course, his final match, which is on record, Game Changer Wrestling, GCW, over WrestleMania weekend, April 18th in 2025 in Las Vegas. And his accomplishments here, his resume, right? His resume, incredible, right? And if you know his resume of champion belts, I mean, there's so many. ECW World Heavyweight Championship 2 times, FTW Heavyweight Champion, ECW Tag Titles World TV Champion, FMW Tag Titles, Hardcore Hall of Fame, 2009, Juggalo Championship, and NWA World Heavyweight Championship, NWA Independent World Champ. I mean, there's so much. Stampede Pacific Wrestling Champion. Sabu did it all. Everywhere. Awards, you name it. Sabu, my personal opinion, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Hopefully one day, WWE Hall of Fame. I hope so. But, Sabu's a legend. My personal mind, a legend in the hardcore world. Death matches. And, man, we're going to miss him. We're going to miss him. So, again, from me, here on the show, send my condolences to to the fans. Most likely, and most important, the family, of course, who lost, Sabu and family, friends, and, it's just, all the fans out there has been a big supporter of Sabu. And if you have any memories of Sabu, if you watched him live on television, you saw him live in person in action, maybe you met him at a convention. I see a lot of people post on Facebook, they got autographs, photos of Sabu. Drop it on the comment section. Your thoughts about Sabu and your personal interaction with him or memories of Sabu, on the screen or in person. And Sabu, we're going to miss you, and rest in peace.